Robert Chen stood by the tall windows of his corner office, watching the city lights flicker to life below. At 62, he'd built Harrison. Technologies from nothing, just a dream in a garage 30 years ago. Now it was worth $200 million. But tonight, none of that seemed to matter. His company was dying, and he couldn't figure out why. For 3 months, their main system had been glitching. Random shutdowns, lost data, angry clients threatening to leave. Robert had hired the best engineers money could buy. They'd worked around the clock, running tests, checking code line by line. Nothing worked. He rubbed his tired eyes and checked his watch. 9:30 in the evening. Everyone had gone home hours ago. Everyone except Margaret, the evening cleaning lady. He could hear the soft sound of her cartwheels in the hallway. Margaret Walsh was 58, though she moved with the quiet efficiency of someone half her age. She'd been cleaning the executive floor for 2 years now. Robert knew her face, her gentle smile when she wished him good night, but he realized with some shame that he'd never really talked to her. Not really. Tonight, something was different. Robert heard footsteps stop outside his office door. Then a soft knock. "Mr. Chen? I'm sorry to bother you, sir." "Come in, Margaret." She stepped inside, yellow cleaning gloves still on her hands, her blonde hair pulled back neatly under a simple headband. She looked nervous, clutching a dust cloth. I probably shouldn't say anything," she began, her voice uncertain. "It's not my place, but I've been noticing something these past few weeks." Robert turned to face her fully. "Go on." "It's your computer system. The main server. I've seen the engineers working on it. Heard them talking." She paused, as if gathering courage. "They're looking in the wrong place." Robert felt a flicker of something, curiosity perhaps. "What do you mean?" Margaret walked slowly to his desk, where his computer screen still glowed with diagnostic reports. "May I?" she asked, gesturing to the keyboard. He nodded, too intrigued to question it. She sat down, those yellow rubber gloves looking absurd against the expensive keyboard. Her fingers moved across the keys with surprising confidence. She opened command windows, typed in strings of code that Robert didn't fully understand. Within 30 seconds, she'd navigated to a section of the system architecture the engineers had declared stable. "There," she said quietly, pointing to a few lines of code. "See that timestamp? Someone made a change here 3 months ago. Small thing, just a few characters, but it's creating a cascade effect every 72 hours. That's why the crashes seem random, but they're not." Robert leaned closer, his heart beginning to pound. How do you know this?" Margaret's hand stilled on the keyboard. She looked down at those yellow gloves, and for a moment, Robert saw something like pain cross her face. "I used to be a software engineer," she said softly. 20 years at Morrison Tech, senior developer. I helped build systems like this one." She took a breath. "Then the economy crashed in 2008. Company downsized. I was 51. Nobody wants to hire a 51-year-old programmer when they can get someone fresh out of college for half the salary." She turned to look at him, and Robert saw a lifetime of quiet dignity in her eyes. "I sent out hundreds of resumes, went to dozens of interviews. Eventually, the savings ran out. My husband had passed 2 years before. My daughter was in college. I needed work, any work, so I started cleaning offices." She smiled, but it was bittersweet. "Turns out I'm good at that, too." Robert felt something tighten in his chest. Here was a woman who could have saved his company months of agony, millions of dollars, and she'd been pushing a cleaning cart past his door every night. "Can you fix it?" he asked, his voice rougher than he intended. "Yes, sir. It'll take about 5 minutes." "Then please fix it." Margaret turned back to the screen. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, those incongruous yellow gloves making soft, squeaking sounds. She typed, tested, checked. Then she ran a diagnostic program. Green check marks appeared down the screen. "System stable. All processes running normally." "That should do it," she said quietly. "You'll want to monitor it for a few days, but the cascade error is gone." Robert stared at the screen, then at Margaret. 5 minutes. You solved it in 5 minutes. I've been thinking about it for weeks, she admitted. I'd stand outside the conference room during my cleaning shift, listening to the engineers talk. I'd see the error logs on their screens when I emptied the trash. I kept thinking. I kept seeing the pattern. Robert sat down heavily in his chair. Margaret. Why didn't you say something sooner? She looked at him with understanding, but without accusation. Would you have listened? I'm the cleaning lady, Mr. Chen. Nobody sees the cleaning lady. We're invisible. We do our work and we stay invisible. That's the job. The words hit Robert like a physical blow, because she was right. He prided himself on being a good man, a fair employer. But when was the last time he'd really seen the people who kept his building running? The security guard who unlocked the doors at 5 in the morning? The cafeteria worker who always remembered he liked his coffee black? Margaret, who'd been walking past a solution to his biggest problem for months? He stood up slowly. Margaret, how much do we pay you? She hesitated. $15 an hour, sir. 20 hours a week. $300 a week. $15,000 a year. Less than he'd spent on his last vacation. Robert walked to his desk and picked up his phone. He dialed his head of HR at home. Linda, it's Robert. I need you to draw up an employment contract. No, I know what time it is. This is important. He looked at Margaret, who was watching him with uncertain eyes. Senior systems analyst position. Starting salary. Let's say $160,000. Full benefits. Starting Monday. Margaret's hand flew to her mouth. Mr. Chen, he held up a hand. And Linda? I want you to audit our hiring practices. If we're filtering out experienced candidates because of age, that stops now. Yes, I'm serious. It's not just wrong. It's stupid. We almost lost everything because we couldn't see the expertise that was right in front of us. He hung up and turned to Margaret. She was crying silently, still wearing those yellow gloves. I don't know what to say, she whispered. Say you'll take the job. Say you'll help us build something better here. Not just the systems, the culture too. Margaret pulled off those yellow gloves slowly. She set them on his desk like she was putting down an old life. I'll take the job, Mr. Chen, and thank you. Not just for the opportunity. Thank you for seeing me. Robert felt his own eyes getting warm. I should have seen you sooner. I should have seen a lot of things sooner. They stood there for a moment. Two people separated by job titles and paychecks, but connected by something more. Important. A shared understanding that value doesn't come with a label, and dignity isn't measured by a salary. Go home, Margaret, Robert said gently. Come back Monday as part of the team. I have a feeling you're going to teach us all quite a bit. She smiled, a real smile this time, full of hope and vindication and simple human joy. Good night, Mr. Chen. Good night, Margaret. After she left, Robert stood alone in his office. He thought about the invisible people in his building, in his life. He thought about how easy it is to stop seeing each other, to reduce people to their functions. He thought about a woman in yellow gloves who'd solved a $200 million problem in 5 minutes, and the larger problem she'd revealed in his own heart. Tomorrow, he decided, things would be different. Tomorrow, he would start really seeing the people around him. It wasn't a dramatic revelation. It was simply a choice to recognize the human dignity in every person who walked through his doors. To remember that everyone has a story, everyone has value, and sometimes the answers we need most are right in front of us. We just have to open our eyes.